Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are looking at one of my Black Friday purchases. This is the Scarlet Fox by Bee's Knees Lacquer. It is a burnt umber or chestnut color, a red with quite a bit of a brown lean. It also has some UP shimmer and some ghost flakes. Those will shift from red to gold to green. This was part of the God and the Gumiho mysteries. In the first coat, it actually goes on more opaque than I thought it would. For those who can accept some nail line, this could work for you. But you'll see in the third coat how much coverage I get. Thank you for understanding when my prices video turned into 3 videos. This is one of the reasons I generally have something approximating a script. Sometimes I go very long. Sometimes the problem is that I don't have enough, but just as often the problem is that I have way too much. Also, having my computer die meant I couldn't get to my files for several days, and restarting a bunch of videos was not something I wanted to do when all I had left was the audio recording. It wouldn't have been a ton of extra work, but it would have been several hours each that I didn't want to lose. So working on something brand new was a better prospect to me, which is what happened. Because of this, I've also been a bit of a mess organizationally, so some of my footage isn't ruined, but I've made some interesting oversights and mistakes with my footage, but I will get into that in a different video. But that's why we're suddenly going back to a polish I probably wore in January. That is where we are. So as you can imagine, the best of 2024 is, you know, now due sometime in June. The second coat does deepen the color, and it also gives us more opacity. I think it's a little more opaque here on camera than it really was. I think you can see the flakes better than the shimmer in this particular lighting, and they look mainly gold to red to me, but we will see the green in the full hand shots. This is one of the polishes that I put in my first order from BKL on Black Friday. I was worried about getting my hands on this polish because I knew the number would be limited since it had previously been a mystery. As of recording this audio in late February, there are still some available. This blows my mind. It is a crime that this polish has not been snapped up. I like to think I'm not surprised by a polish often, and we can certainly debate how accurate that self-image might be. But this was way better looking than any still images could convey. I thought I'd like it, but I love it. I think as we get into the third coat, the color does deepen a tiny amount, but it does also get us a decent amount more opacity. I think my footage is decently accurate in terms of what the opacity looks like in the different lighting, although we'll have to wait for the full hand shots for that. And you'll see it in the full light shots that it really is not opaque. I have turned my filming setup slightly, and it has made a huge difference in being able to see my nail while painting on camera. Originally, I did not want to do this because it meant I would have to change the setup in between painting my thumbs. And that gives me even more opportunities to smudge my left thumb, which is either freshly top coated or totally without top coat. But it is so much easier to see that I feel like I'm going to risk the extra nail dings just for the ease of use. A smart person would only swatch on one hand. I did bump my thumb while moving my setup, and I did have to fix it, but I did not add an extra coat. I just pushed the polish back into place and then top coated it. But after that happened, I also stabbed my right thumb with this thumb. I was apparently having a day. Now that we're in the sun, I think you can see what I mean by it still showing nail line. You can see my very prominent ridges. If you have a smoother nail, more like my index finger, and you probably do, I think you're going to see much less through it than you see here. I think this gives you a decent idea of how brown the base is, despite the shimmer trying to pull it red. When I'm at the right side, both the UP shimmer and the ghost flakes are pulling very red with a sprinkle of gold. When I move over to my left near the door, you get more gold, and some of the flakes at the edge of my nail flip to green. In this mixture of sun and shade, you can see that when the polish is in the darker portions of the room, the red shift of the shimmer does look somewhat metallic, at least to my eye. It has a very real luster. I also think it gives hints of gold. The flakes are very gold with just a touch of chartreuse. And as I move over to the left and into the brighter light, we lose that shininess in favor of a more speckled shimmer look that is more brown overall, but with a touch of red and gold. And the flakes are turning towards green at the left side of my nail. For the artificial light, prepare your ears. I am trying not to scream. But oh my God, why is this so beautiful? It is completely unfair to every other existing polish. The flare of the green as I move over to the right and towards the window is absolutely mesmerizing. This is why I said no still picture could ever do this justice. This polish just has so much movement. And as I move around to the left to the purely artificial light, you can see how we swing back into that very reddish flare. But we've retained some of the green in the flakes, so you still get some of that color movement. If you had considered getting this and then struck it off your list, all I can say is you're going to regret this. This is one of those times where I'm going to honestly say I have never seen anything like this. It's so unique and so beautiful. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can build my squirrels bionic appendages so that they can leap vast distances and never drop a peanut again. Please enjoy a clip of my squirrel having butterfingers.